Hello and welcome. I have a little companion here. You say hello. She's got a few minutes until she's ready to sleep. So I figured I'd do this little intro with her and just show you guys Sophia. She is 10 months old. I cannot believe it. But yeah, in today's video, I want to do a first impressions on something that Makeup Revolution sent me. Have no idea how I got on their PR list. This time I'm super interested in it because the two palettes that they sent me. Now I should show you guys, this is the full collection. I'll stick a picture right here because I'm sure you can't see it very well here. But they have a pretty big collection, 4 different palettes. I think they have some like cheek, like a liquid cheek product or something like that. Maybe it's eye primer, and then they have a blush and highlighter little duo. They have brushes and then sponges and lip oils and also a makeup basket. They sent me 2 of the palettes, and of the 2 palettes they sent, these 2 palettes, I'm super interested in both of them. So this first one is the turtle one, and it's like browns and kind of like seafoam green, and then the next one is the penguins, which I thought would be pretty boring, but it's the most colorful one in there. Yeah, are you trying to grab all the palettes back there? So I saw these. I was interested in trying both of them. I haven't tried Makeup Revolution in forever, so since I was set the collection, I want to do a video on it, and I hope you guys are interested in hearing my thoughts. This will just be a first impressions because I've only tried each of them one time. I already tried the turtle one this morning, and then we're about to try the colorful one on camera. You know, it is not polite to burp on camera. That's okay, you're cute. And then we're gonna try the colorful one as I chit chat with you guys on camera. So yeah, I will try to leave a link to the collection if you're interested down below in the description box. Sophia's playing with the box that came with the lip oils, but I'm gonna go now and put her to bed. But for you guys, it'll just be 1 second and we can get right into playing with the palettes. We're first gonna dive into the like kind of music overlay as I try the first one, the turtle one, that is the brown and green one. And I'll do that one and then we'll dive into the colorful one. So yeah, are you ready? Say bye-bye. I can't believe she's getting so big. Say bye-bye. Say to who, mommy? All right, so I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm going to use the Piero Primero primer. It's a little bit of a stickier, tackier, and not so quite thick type of eyeshadow primer, so I just want to use that to be, you know, something different from the one I used this morning on the other one. I'm also curious to see if maybe it's more pigmented and intense with a little bit more tackiness to it than the one was this morning. But we're just gonna slap this on. So this is the one you just saw. I was really happy with this. I forget if I'm gonna put it on the screen, but in case I forget, I feel like I kind of gave it a bad review or first impressions because I chose to put this this minty green on the outer edge after this dark shade, and then I blended this brown into it. It was a bad color combination choice on my part. I feel like if I had just done like just the, you know, blended out with this shade or even this shade, it would have blended out beautifully, and then I could put this or this one on the inner corner, but I wanted to kind of do the flip-flop with the shades, so I didn't do that. But I think that's why it looked a little bit not as blended as I would like. But like I said, I'm pretty sure that's my fault for choosing the colors I did. But anyway, let's move on to this one. I don't know if they have names. Like, I can't find the name. It just says Finding Nemo, but I know, I mean, they both say Finding Nemo. They have to be called something different, but I don't see them. Maybe they were on the box, but I'm sure I'll be able to find it after the fact when I look up links, but weird. Anyway, so there are only 2 shimmers that I can see. It's this orange and this hot pink, so I think that's perfect. We'll use both of those on the lid, probably going from pink to orange, I think. So with that in mind, let me look at the mattes. I definitely want to put that blue on the outer corner, and maybe I'll just keep it bluish on the outer edge, and then I can work, do I want to use orange on the inner part? I kind of want to use this yellow orange on the inner part, and then that way I can have the hot pink to the orange on the outer part, kind of be another one of those kind of flipping a little peekaboo between the oranges. But then I kind of want to use this shade as well. This green is really pretty. I don't even know. It's like a highlighter. It's not even highlighter. This is like a highlighter yellow. This is like a neon green, but it's hard to come across on camera. Well, let's start with that dark blue, and I think I actually might go and focus more green on the outer edge. Maybe I'll blend in a touch of this afterwards and then keep the yellow orange on the inner corner. I think that's what I'm thinking I'll do. So let's just dive into that dark blue and pack it on and see how it packs on. Okay, so just placing it. This is a very bright blue. I did it too late. There's a little bit that fell, so I will dust that away in just a minute, but this is a very bright, like cobalt blue, but as I'm blending it out, it definitely is softening up and not being as like crazy thick of the consistency. I still feel like it's a pretty nice color, just a little bit more muted and a little bit more thinner of a consistency than it first was when I applied it. But it's blending out nicely for sure. Just going to bring it out a little bit right here, like that. There's that. Let me see how this blends away. Actually, I think it all blended away without smearing at all. I'm very, very thankful for that. Okay, now I'm going to go in with, I want more of a fluffy blending brush. Something like this Gimme Glow G327 I think will be really nice. And I'm going to go into that shade right there on the top. It's kind of like a green blue, but more heavy on the green. So I think that'll be a good transition. I'm going to start by placing it down. Yeah, this will, I think, will be a good one. And let's see, as of right now, placing it down, going back and forth like I like to do, I'm still seeing that line like they're not wanting to mesh, kind of like what I experienced this morning when I tapped in and put that mint, or the brown between the mint and the brown, the dark brown. Hopefully that's making sense. But let's see if some time blending helps, because these two colors should blend in to each other just fine. I mean, with it just being blue and a lighter, like, blue, I guess it's more green. I don't know. What color is that? Aqua? The green blue? But it should blend just fine. Okay, it's blending okay. I don't think it's blending great because I feel like as I'm working on it, it is kind of wanting to pick up right where that that blue went. So let me go back in. What did I do? Oh, there it is. I'm gonna go back into that blue, and I'm gonna have to go back and forth. Not that this is unusual, I don't think, like super unusual for me to have to go back and forth a little bit, but usually I see a little bit more, like in a good formula that I'm like, yes, I love that formula, I recommend it. I feel like there's just a little bit more meshing that happens before I have to kind of go back into another color. I feel like this, I'm still seeing that line. It kind of reminds me of the old Gourmande Girl, C'est L'Amour. I think someone said the sieste as I was pronouncing it is just pronounced say. But anyway, that palette, kind of how like wherever you placed it, it was kind of like, oh, okay, this is where I'm going to be. But honestly, maybe I'm judging it too harshly. I feel like that's blending out very nicely. I'm just using a lot more tapping motions than blending motions that I feel like I would typically do for my outer corner, because I feel like I like to do those more sweeping blending motions. But with this formula, I feel like it would start to get a little too thinned out and maybe patchy, but it would be too thinned out, the color. I like it to stand out nice and vibrant. I'm gonna go in with that green. Maybe not, I think it should be a good choice. With, you know, it should blend into these color choices, but I don't know if it's the best choice for standing out here. I honestly don't even know if you can see this color. I can see it in person for sure, so we'll see how well it shows up on camera, but it's going over that color. I just like this type of color. is honestly why I'm fitting it in, can I speak? But just go out like this. It's kind of going over that middle shade and kind of changing the color a little bit, but kind of also helping to, I feel like, give a nice seamless blend like that. So now I'm gonna go back into that middle shade, that green blue shade, and just kind of do a little bit more touch-ups. So yeah, I don't know. I think my issue with this is that the formula themselves are thin. Maybe that's why I'm having so much trouble when I'm trying to blend on. I feel like if I just took one shade and put it in the outer corner and blended it out, I probably would be very happy with it. But like as I'm working to try to marry these shades together, I feel like it's okay. I mean, I'm trying to review the palette, so maybe I'm being a little bit too nitpicky, but knowing how my favorite formulas perform, using these 3 shades, I feel like I usually get a nicer blend. But then I kind of look at it objectively and I'm like, it's really not that bad, Katie. But if I'm being nitpicky, I'm just a little bit like, I don't know. Okay, so caught this side up. I'm pretty happy with the blend. I think I'm just being a little nitpicky, just being maybe too nitpicky, I guess is what I'm saying. I should be a little nitpicky in my reviews, but I think I might just being a little too nitpicky, too high of expectations. We'll see how it all looks like. But I think it definitely is because the eyeshadow formula itself is just thinner, so maybe that's why I'm seeing those differences, whereas a thicker formula, like I feel like I'm used to using, you know, with Odin's Eye, with Nomad, with Simply Posh Cosmetics. I'm just saying those because they're up here staring at me. Those brands, they have such a thicker formula, nicer formula, they just glide and smooth along a lot easier when you're, you know, blending between the two. But anyway, we're gonna go on. I'm going to take this orange, and then after that I'll put the yellow on top. I'm gonna take the orange on a teeny tiny little A504 brush from BH Cosmetics, which is a fantastic little brush. And we're gonna stick it right in here and really pack it on. So swiping it, it definitely applies, not saying it's not pigmented, but I want to see how much I can get here. So we're going to amp it up a little bit and go like that. And then I'm going to follow that on with the orange. I feel like the orange might have a little bit of like glitter reflect to it. I think that's the only shade that has those sparkles to it. I don't really think they're going to be obvious enough to even see when I put it on though, because they're so very fine. And it might even be just like a topper. I don't know if I'll even notice it once I get, you know, start using the shade and use up some of it and get off that top layer a little bit. But okay, so I like the yellow for sure. Okay, so let's move on to the shimmer and see what that's like. I initially started putting it on without any kind of type of glitter glue like I tend to do, and it was pretty lackluster, but then as I was applying it, I was like, this is kind of unfair, because I feel like a pretty status quo for me is to always put on some type of glitter primer before shimmers. So, oh yeah, I'm so sorry. I was in the garden. I did not get all the dirt out from under my fingernails. It's okay. It's just dirt. But anyway, I figured, you know, that's kind of unfair for me to judge it just by itself. So yes, it was pretty lackluster before I put the glitter on. But with the glitter on, it, you know, the other palette, I should reference what I'm talking about. When I did the other palette this morning, it's a fine formula. It's nothing like glittery, sparkly, intensely shimmery. It's just a nice, gentle, soft, smooth type of shimmer. And it held up fine. I was sweating like crazy this morning. I took the kids to their swim lessons. So hot in Florida. I forget what the temps are most day, but the heat index this whole week, today's Thursday, has been like in the hundreds, and it is hot. I've been doing extra things in the middle of the day to kind of help the animals through it. So I'm out in it more. I feel like I've been outside more with it being so hot than I typically am on like a typical day. I usually check them kind of 3 times a day, checking on everybody, but with this weather, I've been going out every couple hours and like giving ice, like blocks of ice and cold water and blah, blah, blah. Just making sure everyone's weathering the heat okay. So I'm sweating all the time. Anyway, I'm gonna go into the pink and then the orange. I feel like that'll be fun. Pink on the inner side and then orange on the outer side. And yeah, this shade is nice. It's like one of those hot pinks, but then as you use it and apply, it's more like a purple. Those are cool. Yeah, it reminds me of a shade I used recently from Simply Posh Cosmetics, except that one was a lot more like blinding and intense. This is definitely just like a very soft, very smooth and nice looking shimmer, but there's no sparkle, there's no reflex or anything. It's just got a nice little gentle shine to it, which is pretty if you like that type of thing. It definitely is a lot more smoother. I think that's one thing I noticed this morning with my shimmer is it didn't move from the place that I placed it. It didn't even go up into my crease at all. It wasn't up in my brows, so there are some perks to having a simple shimmer is that they, at least for me, tend to stay in their place a lot more. Something about those intense, crazy shimmers or multi-chromes is they just like to move a little bit more. So very, very pretty. Ooh, so pretty. I like that mix of pink and purple. I'm gonna clean off that same brush, flip it around, and put on the orange now, and then just go back and forth like I do and mesh the two. Yeah, this is nice as well. Maybe it would have been a bit nicer. It's a little bit brighter, I feel like, than the hot pink, so probably would have made more sense on the inner corner, but oh well. I feel like it would have blended too much into what I got going on the crease, so that's why I'm putting it out here. Will definitely be a really pretty shade to use all over the lid or on the inner half of my lid later on as I continue testing this. And then let's see how they mesh and blend. I don't know if it's the color choices, but I feel like I'm having a harder time meshing these shimmers, the two in here and then the two I used in the palette this morning. It's harder for me to mesh the shimmers than I feel like I'm used to. I feel like usually it's pretty effortless. I just kind of go back and forth between the two shimmers and it's like boom, they're blended. But this one is a little bit harder. I'm gonna go on the other side. It's a little bit harder. I feel like I see more obvious where there's a line between them. And I don't know if that's just, I feel like this color shouldn't be that hard to mesh and blend together. It's orange and hot pink. Am I not remembering the color wheel right? I feel like they should blend pretty seamlessly and nicely into each other, but I feel like it's almost like they just don't know what to do in the middle there. And I feel like I got the blend, but looking at it in person, I can see like a thickness difference. Maybe that's what it is, but it's not terrible. So we're just gonna go, and honestly for Makeup Revolution, I'm really happy with the quality. I know I'm being super nitpicky, but just trying to be as informative as I can. Okay, so I went ahead, once I caught up my other eye, and put on some eyeliner, but now we're gonna go, and I'm just gonna take the blue, tapping it off really well, and I'm gonna put it right here at the really lower lash line, just push it in there. And I think I'm gonna take that green over the rest of it, I think. You know what? We're gonna mix up a little bit. I'm gonna try to take more of that middle green that I used over the rest of this just to help it pop a little bit more, because I feel like that lightest green definitely overshadowed it. This shade kind of overshadowed and, you know, took over up here. So I'm gonna use this shade all over the bottom, like that kind of blue-green, just so it can maybe shine. Okay, I finished up the other eye because I had a curious child come in and have a couple questions on if we're done with quiet time. Anyway, just blending this out, and then I'm gonna go right here, come back a little bit, and then we're gonna go into that lightest green that I had and just give it a touch right here to make sure it's all blended. And then there's no real color for my inner corner. I'm gonna go in with this cream Solomay Gel Liner 005 for my waterline, and then I'm just gonna use what I used for my face, if I can remember. I think I used the Juvia's Place highlighter, but I'm just gonna use that on my inner corner highlight because this does not have one. So, and I should probably also hit my, oh, I think I used the Pina Colada, I guess, because it's here at the top. So I'm just gonna use a touch of this Pina Colada, and we'll pop it on right in here, and then we're gonna call that a look. I feel like I've done this color combo, I probably have recently-ish, I can't remember, but definitely looks like a look I've done with another rainbow palette. It's just a really classic rainbow look, I guess I go for. Anyway, it is pretty. Overall, I think it turned out really nice. It is a little bit thinner formula, but I feel like final results still look nice. Like, yeah, you can tell it's maybe a touch thinner than most, but still really colorful, still very vibrant. I'm very happy with that. So let me get some close-ups. Oh yeah, I'll go ahead and show you guys. This is the lip oil they got. It's a nice lip oil. I feel like it left my lips pretty darn fast. There's absolutely no color to it, even though there's two in there of different colors. But I mean, it feels really nice. So anyway, that is going to be the look. Let me go ahead and get some close-up pics and reapply this and then get some close-up shots, and then we can finish out this video. So this is the final look that I ended up with. Overall, I'm really happy with the final look. I will throw up pictures just so you guys can see your videos. I keep saying pictures, videos. So you can see that pink is super pretty. I really like how the pink turned out. I wish it was a little bit like a brighter type of pinky purple, but regardless, it is super pretty. Definitely would have been pretty all over the lid, but I like that pop of yellow or the orange in there too. Overall, I feel like like it blended nicely. I definitely got the blend that I like to have. If I got super up close, maybe I could say it's not my favorite blend, but honestly, maybe I could have spent more time and gotten a really good blend. Overall, at the end of the day, I finished my look. I'm happy with the blend for the mattes. I'm happy with the way the shimmers look. They are very nice. So overall, I'm really just happy with how this look turned out and how Makeup Revolution did this collection. I feel like they did it colorful and fun. They did fun packaging and they did good quality. Like, what more could you ask for? Overall, really happy. I don't think I mentioned, but I did try the sponge this morning. It worked like a sponge, maybe a touch bit more firm than like the Beauty Blender or just my type of beauty blenders in general. It's just a touch more firm, but still really soft. Gets the job done. Just a little bit more firm when you actually squeeze it and use it just a little bit. That is gonna do it for my first impressions. I hope it was helpful for you guys to see me put these products on my face and see what I think about them. I had a lot of fun doing my makeup. This look is a lot of fun. It's been a while since I went this colorful with my makeup and I love it. I miss it. I had fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. But with all that said, that is gonna do it for me. Thank you guys so very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you're not following me over on Instagram, I'm Lady Katie92 over there and I post reels, up close eye pictures, all that sort of thing. And with all that said, I'll see you guys very soon in my next video. Bye guys.